Hi and welcome to our next projects tutorial. In this tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to use Prezi to create a children's vocabulary chart. I'm already logged into my Prezi account, and so I'm ready to start making my new presentation. I'm going to click on the button that says New Prezi in the top left corner of my screen. Now Prezi is a little different than a standard PowerPoint presentation that maybe you've made in the past. It lives online, and so you can always work on it because it's cloud-based. It also has a new feature of how you kind of look at presentation. Rather than having multiple slides, in this instance we have one major canvas and we kind of zoom into different parts of the canvas so that we can learn different content or different concepts. So I'm just going to pick a content area. For this particular assignment you're going to be studying vocabulary words and helping the students understand new vocabulary. The vocabulary should focus in on teaching a concept from the language arts core. Let me just show you what I mean. I'm going to come to the language arts core here, and this is for third grade. It looks like one of the areas is phonics and word recognition, and standard 3 says identify and know the meaning of common prefixes and suffixes. Well, that sounds like a great concept for me to teach my students using some vocabulary. So I'm going to be coming back here and I'm going to use that as my main idea here. So I'm going to say this is about phonics and word recognition, just using the word recognition, okay, and I'm going to paste in that standard that we have. Now notice here with Prezi I can kind of shrink text by clicking on the bubbles in the lower right hand corner and just kind of pull that in. You can see how I can kind of move that around. If I need to add additional text, I can click anywhere in the text box and I can put that we're studying prefixes and suffixes. You can see how I can kind of move that around if I click outside of the box and then just kind of move that around. Very easy for me to go through and kind of adjust where my text is and what it looks like. If you need it to be larger or smaller, you can kind of see how you can play with that. Now let's go out and look at our main idea here. So you can see first it's going to zoom in on the little guy's tag, and then we zoom out and we can see some different concepts here. The numbers indicate which order these word bubbles are zoomed in on as part of our presentation. So I want to come in and I want to zoom in on this first word bubble. So I'm going to just kind of slide on in here. Let's click on number 3 in our list. And let's say I'm going to study a suffix, okay, for this particular one. And the suffix that I want to look at is ing. So we're going to study the ing suffix. Now, we want to start putting in some content around this word bubble. So we need some words that end in ing that may be part of the third grade core that we're learning. So let's say we want to start out with the word running. Okay, so I'm just going to type in the word running as my vocabulary word. As part of this assignment, we not only want to have the vocabulary word, but we want to have a picture that illustrates the word as well as a context sentence to help students understand what we're kind of going for. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here and I'm going to grab the insert menu because I want to find a picture of a student running. You can see it'll insert images and video and a lot of different content. So the first thing I'll do is click on insert, and then you can see I've got the option to insert an image. Very easy to do. I'm going to type in running so I can get a picture of someone running. And you can see maybe I don't want just anybody running, I want a student running. Let's see if we can find a picture of a student running, or maybe a young person. Yeah, that looks good. So we can pull in any of these pictures if we want. Oh, I really like this one, so maybe a younger student. Okay, so once I find the picture that I want, I'm going to click the insert menu, and you can see that that will drop onto my canvas. It's pretty large, so I can always just again click on it and kind of make it a little bit smaller or bigger depending on what I want to do. Now this is one of the neat parts of Prezi. We've got our word, and I actually want to pull that word right onto the picture of the guy running, but I need to make it quite a bit smaller. So look what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to click on it and make that word really small in here so that when we zoom in we can kind of see that. I'm also going to type my sentence here. John was running late for school. so we can see how we can use that in a sentence. So now I've got my sentence. Okay, let's see if I can just kind of move that over just a little bit. Maybe I'll make this come in just a little bit here. So we've got our sentence and we've got our vocabulary word and our image. Now, let's just show you how you can kind of play around with this just a little bit. I'm going to edit my path so that I can bring this into my story. I'm going to come up here and click Add Current View. And you can see what that does. It zooms right in on that area and makes it part of my presentation. But there's a problem here. I want it to go right after the ing, and it put it all the way to the end of my presentation. So I'm just going to click on this little slide for running and move it up just a little bit higher. And I can improve this by zooming in just a little bit. You can see I can kind of change that around just a little bit if I need to. It says click to zoom to this path point. Yep, I want to do that so you can see it kind of zooms in. If I want to zoom in on a word afterwards, I can just click here. You can see it adds running now, and I can move that into my little slide. And I can do the same thing with the sentence. Now let's just show you what happens when I zoom around to these different points. Look what happens when we kind of do our little zoom. We start out with our first sentence. I'm going to hit my space bar. Zooms all the way out to our whole kind of concept. Now we go over and look at suffixes, and we go into our first suffix, running. And then I can zoom in on the word running, and we can read the sentence, John was running late for school. You can do this for all the different slides that you have as part of your presentation. Remember, you're going to have 20 vocabulary words, which means that you should also have 20 images and 20 context sentences. So I'd like you to make a little group with a picture, the vocabulary word, and the sentence for each of the 20 items you're going to put into your Prezi chart. I hope that gives you a little sense of how you can get started with this. At any point you can go to the Help menu, which is going to be found. Let me just show you where that is. If I hit Exit on my presentation, it's automatically saved. But when you go back to the Prezi homepage, you can see there's an area called Learn and Support. That will help guide you through as you go through and work on your Prezi. You can see they have all kinds of video tutorials and examples, things that can help you through this process. I hope this has been a good starting point for you, and I look forward to seeing your assignments. Thanks for watching, everyone.